welcome to the Organic Girls.
Yay! Today we'll be talking about GMOs, ladies.
Awesome.
What did you have for breakfast this morning? I had Cheerios.
I had a bagel.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, we all had some type of genetically modified organism.
What?
No.
No.
Yeah, GMOs are in about 80% of the food sold in grocery stores today.
Wow.
Lovely.
Yep. And you can't tell the difference, one, because nothing is really labeled. And if it is labeled, it can be referred to as genetically engineered or just genetically modified.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, but GMO basically, or GMO food, is basically they inject the DNA of one organism into the other to change a certain feature.
Okay.
Gross.
Yeah.
Which this process has no bounds. But this might sound like a good idea, but if you eat rice, would you eat it if you knew it contained human DNA?
No.
Yeah.
We're not cannibals.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
Well,
No.
unless you eat certified organic rice, you're eating human DNA.
Oh,
Really.
gross.
We have one of the biggest manufacturers here in the U.S. in Kansas City, Junction, Kansas City, where they cultivate human DNA, well, rice that has been genetically modified with human DNA. They get it from our saliva, breast milk, blood, and they just get it from regular, everyday people like us.
That is crazy.
We really don't know. They don't tell us, so it could be from dead bodies.
How did they get started with this? I wonder.
Yeah.
Well, it goes to show how far food has come,
Yeah.
really. And I mean, ever since the agricultural revolution 10,000 years ago, farmers would just take a little seed, like, oh, this crop is good, I'm going to take these seeds and plant them again, so I can have the same food next year. And then they would just do that year after year until the 17th century, when mineral fertilizers were introduced, which really helped. And then they came to the point where fertilizers just weren't cutting it with the growing population. In 1953, James Watson and Franz Crick, two scientists, illustrated the structure of DNA, which really helped provide the base of the GMO feature, like you were saying. In 1973, Herbert Boyer and Stanley Cohen put different sections of multiple different organisms' DNA together and created a first recombinant DNA organism. And then after that happened, GMO use just shot up exponentially. The FDA declared that GMOs were not inherently dangerous, and they didn't really need to be regulated, so
They should be regulated.
I mean, it was from like tobacco to tomatoes, anything. I did a test with these two different apples. One of them was a apple from a fast food chain, and then I did another one, just an organic apple. And I just took pictures of them throughout the day.
Yep, that one's starting to brown out more.
Yep, and if you look, I mean, the one on the right just isn't really changing that much at all.
It almost looks like it's shrinking.
Yeah, especially right there.
And
And
then
then,
the right,
yeah.
rubbery.
yeah,
Gross. That seems more normal.
right. I would,
Rubberiness shouldn't happen.
no.
That reminds me about, they were talking about the Arctic apple, which is genetically modified. They would put pesticides or chemicals on it. So when you cut it open, you leave it on your counter for a while, it doesn't brown. That seems like a good idea because it just looks gross to us. Even though it's perfectly fine, it just was on the counter.
No big deal.
Right, but then you're eating more chemicals to make it look good.
Right.
Is that really healthy or not? You would think, since we eat so much fruit and things, that fruit would be good. Even fruit has it on there. And we've just been eating it, since like the mid-90s and stuff.
Oh.
Just without it. And then there's Prop 37 that was going on in California recently, like late last year, that was saying, should we label genetically modified foods or should we not?
Right.
And you would think it would pass and they would support it, but nope, they said we don't need to label them.
I would vote for it. Yes,
I would want to know, especially if it's human DNA that we're eating.
Oh, what's wrong with us?
Yeah. Right? And then, if you go to restaurants, how can they serve you the best food, the healthiest food, if it has all these chemicals, just to make it bigger and better?
Right.
Like, it might be, healthy vegetables, but it could be injected with, peanuts My cousin has peanut allergies, and what if he doesn't know that it's in, the mashed potatoes or something he's eating?
Or even this
Or
corn.
even this
Yeah.
corn that we eat all the time. But if you eat that, then you'll just have an allergic reaction, and you think it's to the corn, but it's really to the peanuts they buffed it up with.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
we have to think about how it's going to affect our future.
right.
We'll get more sick.
Yeah. Let's go to our
Yeah.
organic correspondent Eric to talk about
See what
what's
he
going to happen
says.
in the future. Yeah.
The future of genetically modified food seems promising. There are many foods such as the flavor-saver tomato that have been altered to have a longer shelf life by reducing the gene that softens the tomato. Companies' scientists are wanting to expand GM use to fish and poultry so that they will develop faster and fuller. There are hopes that altering the genetics of foods can be used in those that improve health, such as adding more antioxidants to help further reduce the risk of cancer or improving the nutritional value of food. However, we are far away from developing this technology. But there has to be the question, is there a point where food doesn't really become food anymore and it's just a mashup of random DNA? Only time will tell.
Thank you, Eric. That
Yes,
was
thank you. That was
Thanks.
that was
Informative.
really- Yeah, that was very
Yeah.
kind of scary.
a little bit.
So, since GMOs have slipped, into the
Slipped.
average American diet, since there is no evidence that really supports what it's going to do to our future, you would think that people who want stuff labeled, then we wouldn't eat GMOs and our cancer rates would go up since nobody can
Right.
connect it to anything
Yeah.
other than the fact that we're just
Unhealthy.
all unhealthy now.
Right.
You know, um, we should probably just try our best to stay away
Yeah.
from GMOs.
Right.
So I know I would. I don't know if you ladies would like
Yeah,
to.
we need to stop
Yeah.
focusing on bigger is better and
Healthier is
and
better.
healthier and stop being so money driven.
Right.
About it.
Maybe in the future we'll be back to talk about, is a tomato a fruit or a vegetable, or, how much of the tomato is actually tomato.
Yeah. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Hey, that's me.
It's stop laughing first.
Hi, we're the GMO girls.
We're organic.
Oh.
We're against GMOs, actually.